What's up, everybody? Welcome to Group Chat Sports Live. We are going live here to talk about portal news, as we like to do, keeping you up to date on the latest in the portal and recruiting. Remember to like and subscribe. And there is some monster news that just broke. Sam Leavitt, star quarterback for Arizona State, is likely to leave the program. His return is doubtful, according to Pete Nakos, Steve Wiltfong over at On3. Leavitt's camp is allegedly shopping the talented passer at a high level. This is someone who is, as the story mentions, represented by his brother Dalen through CAA. This is a bombshell for a lot of reasons. Sam Leavitt took a star turn last year, making the college football playoff, taking Texas to the limit. You look at the stats, 62% of his passes last year, 2,885 yards, 24 touchdowns, 6 INTs. Also was very prolific running the ball in that season, 443 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns. Took a step back this year, dealing with a foot injury, 60.7% passer, 1,628 yards, 6.8 yards per attempt, which is 1.6 less than what he had the year before. So less efficient, 10 touchdowns, 3 picks, again, dealing with a lingering foot injury. So first question is, whether this is true, right? Arizona State, there's been rumors of NIL issues with the program. If Coach Dillingham was an Arizona State alum, rumors about him potentially going elsewhere, or at least looking elsewhere, interviewing elsewhere. LSU, his name's been mentioned there. Florida, teams like that. Would this be a situation where this could be a package deal where Dillingham goes somewhere and Leavitt goes somewhere else? I don't know if he'd do that to his alma mater, but these are the things that you think about. But first question is this even true? And to that point, there was a comment from Leavitt's brother Dalen, who again is his agent, so I think relevant to this discussion. He posted on Instagram, he said, On3, broke the news, you're a joke. Addressed this right before Pete Nakos released the news. There you see the text from Pete Nakos. Says, Dalen, hope you're well. Pete Nakos wanted to give you the heads up that we're reporting Sam is expected to enter the transfer portal and is doubtful to return to Arizona State. Of course, that's the report that we've been talking about. And then Dalen says, why would you do that? That's not where things are right now. He's still deciding what he wants to do. Going to the Arizona State side of things, you've seen the Leavitt side, you've seen the media side. Going to the Arizona State side, let's go to the official website, 247 side, I should say, of Arizona State, the Sun Devil source, Chris Cartman, staff member. Here's what he wrote. Basically, he said, situation's getting messy. I'm not surprised. On3 is leaning into this in a way I don't think is fair to Leavitt, who would understandably like to go through a process. So it's probably speeding up a little bit more than Leavitt would like, but not an outright denial here. Chris Cartman goes on to say, Leavitt has a circle of several more people, not all of whom have the same opinions. We're an annual free agency, and Leavitt is one of the highest value players in the country. He has people who work for him indirectly, directly, who are engaged in conversations about what he could make to transfer to other schools. So these are the negotiations. Before the negotiations, Leavitt is out for the year with the foot injury, so he's not playing any games. That's very likely where the report came from. Basically, other schools who want to make it messy and are negotiating numbers with these agents, coupled with people who are trying to maximize his price and present options to him. Now, Carmen does say, again, this is the Arizona State perspective. I already posted here 2 weeks ago that I see it as a coin flip situation that could go either way, and points out that there's a budget issue. And this is interesting now, because now he's flipping it to the ASU side. ASU's coaches must decide how much they can afford to pay Leavitt while also being able to surround him with enough talent to be successful. To frame it more precisely, if Leavitt asked for half of ASU's $13.5 million in revenue sharing for football, that would be an obvious non-starter. If he asked for only $1 million, that would be an easy decision to bring him back. The problem hypothetically would be, what if Leavitt wants $3.5 million and ASU's coaches feel like they could get a good transfer quarterback for $1.5 million, then spend the other $2 million on 4 to 6 very good starters to surround that quarterback? What would you do? So clearly, there's a lot going on here, a lot of negotiations taking place. We already got the comments. Canes Cat, he wants Sam Leavitt to the Miami Hurricanes. Look, when this stuff's out there, it's getting already messy. I don't feel very good if I'm Arizona State that he's coming back there. Talking about all these financial issues, that revenue sharing number seems low. If there's no other NIL on top of it for Arizona State, there's been rumors again that they're not exactly flush with cash for a playoff team that's had success in the past at Arizona State, wanting to maybe recreate that, but you got to pay up to play. And right now, teams like Texas Tech spending much more money, it seems, than Arizona State. Shame because, last year was such a fun team to watch with Arizona State. They did such a nice job at for that program last year. You hate to see that it could go this direction, but that's college sports, and it kind of is what it is. So in terms of the direction going forward, right? If Arizona State chooses not to match financially, or if the boat's in Leavitt's corner and he doesn't want to come back, whatever it is, whatever side you want to go with, if Leavitt goes in the portal, who would be the teams that would make the most sense? I think you have to start first and foremost with the LSU Tigers. Van Buren, quarterback who transferred from Mississippi State last year, played a little bit as a freshman for Mississippi State, now playing for LSU with Nussmeier out. Is he the long-term future? I don't think anyone knows. You don't even know who the coach is. There's rumors that Dillingham, Arizona State's coach, looking at LSU as a potential landing spot. Could that be a package deal? I don't know, but that's something to think about. How does he fit? Right away, I think LSU wouldn't want to be a long rebuild. They are doing a nice job recruiting in the 2027 class for quarterback, but that's a ways away. Who's going to be the quarterback in the 26 season, the first season for this new coach? I think a guy like Leavitt could do great work there. They have talent. They're going to have returning talent there. Who knows, again, with the portal, how things all shake out, but you have players that are capable of playing for the LSU Tigers, young players. I just look at the stats for LSU this year and some of the young guys that could potentially return. Obviously, Trey Green is the first name that jumps out. A sophomore who, one of the more interesting tight ends in the country for Sam Leavitt to throw to. You look at some of the other players that could potentially factor in. Running back Harlan Berry, who was a number one running back in the country coming out of high school last year. So he's a young guy you can build around. Nick Anderson, who's been banged up, but he's someone who I believe has more eligibility due to a red shirt he took because of injury. So there's guys here who can help your team and would love nothing more than to have a quarterback. Aaron Anderson, of course, probably the most productive of these guys. So you have players that can succeed with a guy like Sam Leavitt pulling the trigger. It could expedite the rebuilding process and expedite your recruiting process as you get guys maybe in this class, as you finish it up, who'd love to play with Sam Leavitt. Anybody who doesn't sign in this winter portal or this winter signing period could potentially sign in the next one. Plus portal, you can really recruit hard to a school like LSU and supercharge it with a Sam Leavitt. Offensive line, not the greatest. Nussmeier dealt with some of those issues. Sam Leavitt does have escapability, so we'll see how that whole thing plays out. But beyond that, Florida, if DJ Lagway decides to transfer and get a fresh start, that could be a team in the mix. Also, no potential Dillingham team. Who knows? Lane Kiffin's the name you expect there. If Lane Kiffin goes there, would he want a quarterback like like Leavitt to rebuild around? That makes a lot of sense. Florida State, they're perpetually looking for players at the quarterback position. Of course, a lot of ties between Dillingham and Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell sticks around. Certainly, he wants another veteran quarterback who's going to save his job. Leavitt fits that bill. You bring back Deuce Robinson, potentially Micah Danzy. There are talented receivers that you can put in that mix for Florida State. And then, of course, the Miami Hurricanes. Miami Hurricanes, we know what they do in the transfer portal when it comes to quarterback, whether it's Carson Beck, Cam Ward. They'll likely be in that market again this year. Proven pass protection situation, Malachi Toney, probably the top freshman in college football at receiver. So that's a alluring player for any quarterback coming in to throw to. So a lot of options here for a Leavitt if he does enter the portal. And of course, you can always go back to Arizona State. Is it going to be a money situation? If I'm him, I'm prioritizing my future. I mean, this is a guy with NFL prospects coming back from injury. I don't know if you want to just go to the highest bidder if there's going to be a bad offensive line situation, if there's going to be a bad running situation. You saw how much better Leavitt was with Cam Scatterbo. He's now leaving Jordan Tyson. He had the best receiver around, certainly one of the top 5 receivers in the country with Jordan Tyson. Tyson's graduating, so he's gone anyways. So is he going to be able to replace that production either at Arizona State or whatever school he chooses to attend? So a lot of interesting decisions here and potential decisions for Sam Leavitt. You also don't know if the coaching carousel knocks some of these quarterbacks around and frees up spots that maybe we didn't think were available. What if Dante Moore decides to leave for in the NFL. I don't think that's likely, but if he does, certainly Leavitt, who grew up in Westland, Oregon, would be a fit with the Oregon Ducks. He was originally at Michigan State, so this would be a third transfer for Leavitt. I don't know if that's something that plays into his brain. South Carolina, if Sellers leaves, would you want to step into that situation? I'm not sure that's the stablest situation for a quarterback, given that Sellers himself could come back, and if he leaves, he's leaving for a reason. So a lot of interesting options for Sam Leavitt. How about Penn State, right? At Penn State, are they a Dillingham team? Penn State's going to need a quarterback replacing Drew Aller. Are they going to go with one of the young guys, or would they want to go to the portal, supercharge that process with a guy like Sam Leavitt? A lot of different options. It's going to be one of the most exciting portal processes to watch. And modern era college football, man. This is November 18th. Season is not even done. Really, it's not even halfway done almost if you consider the championship. We're pretty much at the midway point, and so much left to go when it comes to the portal and player movement. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, unless you're an Arizona State fan, in which case, pretty nerve-wracking, but we'll see which direction it goes. Like and subscribe to Group Chat Sports. We'll keep you up to date on the latest.